Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Sorry it's been a while since I've made an update video. I've had a lot going on recently. So, the main reason I'm here is to let you guys know what's going on in terms of what happened to the Ralliart build and what am I doing moving forward. So I had the Ralliart and it had full bolt-ons, GSCS1 cams, MHI, turbo, and it was running E85, blah 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 blah. Fully built Jacks Transmission SST. It was great. Well, so I thought. I got tuned on 5150 Racing, John Drainus. In no way was this his fault that this happened. I'm not going to blame any of the shops. This was purely a manufacturing fuck-up from the factory, possibly. But so the Ralliart, it was making 390 horsepower and 360 pound-feet of torque on E85, and that's the wheels on a Mustang dyno. So it's making a lot of power. It's actually making as much as my new car is making currently. But on the way home, I was driving from LA all the way back up to Pleasanton, where I live. And about halfway there, 3 hours into the trip, I saw white smoke pouring from the hood, and I was like, oh shit, I blew something up. But that wasn't the case, as we found out later. I pulled over, popped the hood, and there was a giant fireball in my face. I mean, popping the hood wasn't probably the smartest thing to do at that point, but I didn't think anything was actually on fire. I thought it was just, I popped a coolant hose, or something crazy happened, or I blew the motor. But it ended up being a fire, so I didn't have a fire extinguisher. I ran about 100 meters from the car, and about 10 seconds later, the entire car basically exploded, or the valve cover exploded off the engine from all the pressure and all the heat. This turned out to be later. I got a call from the insurance company. It was a fuel fire. It was definitely an unfortunate event. I was freaking out because I threw so much money at the project, and I mean, it just goes to show you, when you modify a car to a really big extent, there's so much stuff that can go wrong, and there's so much time and effort that has to be spent into R&D and tuning and calculating everything, making sure when you upgrade one thing, you have to upgrade the rest of the system to match those upgrades. So a lot of people think, oh, just slap a big turbo on it, injectors and a fuel pump, and you're good to go. But in reality, there's a lot more that goes on in the engineering process. Just think about it this way. Mitsubishi let the car out of the factory because they think it's safe, it's reliable, it's going to get you from point A to point B without blowing up. It's at a good moderate power level for the motor that's in there. Maybe a little bit conservative. The Mitsubishi engineers didn't get it wrong from the factory. And when you start messing with what they've done and what they've perfected and what they have down to a fine art and fine art of engineering, I should say, anything could go wrong. There's so many things that could possibly go wrong. I was down for a while after this happened. You can ask a lot of my friends and a lot of the people in the community, but I was pretty down for a while. I was just done with cars, period. But then I realized that it's just a car. I'm glad I got out alive. There's more to life than cars. But anyway, as you can see, there is no car right here right now. It's because the Evo's up getting head work done and new cams and all this good stuff. It's no 5 Evo 8 MR. I'll make an update video once I get the car back. But it's a full track car. I don't really street drive it that often. I don't daily drive it. It's not my daily. These are my dailies. This bike and this bike, the F800 GS and the Bandit, are my two daily drivers, or that's what I like to call them. But anyway, yeah, so the Ralliart was fun when I had it. I don't think I would go back to that platform again. Not as much development into the aftermarket as the Evo 8s and Evo 9s are, for example, because think about it this way, the Ralliart and the Evo 10 have only been out for a few years. The Evo 8s and 9s, 10 plus years. The car I have is almost a decade old. So, I mean, you have to really think about it this way. If you want to upgrade a car and modify a car, you have to do extensive amounts of research. You have to be prepared to break things, because things are definitely going to break at that power level. And when you're pushing things so much farther than the manufacturer originally meant them to be pushed, things are going to go wrong, and that's something that you have to. That's the risk of modifying your car, and that's the name of the game. Is do you want to risk this investment with this amount of money? You have to really have a budget in mind. How much you really want to spend, because sometimes people have a bunch of money to blow, say on a motor build, a trans build, transfer case build, everything fully built. Then they can go like 600, 700, 800 horsepower. But there are those guys that can't afford it, like maybe college students and things like that, and you can do minor bolt-ons. That's okay too. There's a lot of things that I've learned throughout this project, and one of those things is to be patient. I was worried about every little thing, and one thing that you have to learn when you own a car like that is no fucks given. Shit's gonna break if it's gonna break. You're gonna have to dish out the cash anyway if you're planning on making a 400 plus horsepower car. Would I do the build how I did it all over again? Probably not. I'd probably build the motor and make sure and do reliability things over power and suspension tuning over power. That's just me now, because I'm getting into tracking my car. I've tracked the Evo a couple times. That's just my style, but everyone has their own thing. Everyone has, like, some guys are drag racing guys, some guys are street racing guys, some guys just do freeway pulls, some guys track the cars. You have to figure out what works for you, and what worked for me was moving away from the 10 platform and getting myself an 8, because it's a much more balanced chassis in my opinion, and I just couldn't go back to getting a 10, especially because I've been scarred by the experience I had. But anyway, yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I'll show you the Evo 8 as soon as possible. I'll throw some pictures in after this of my old car. I got some pictures of what the car looked like after it finished burning, and it was definitely a moment of sadness there. All the money and time spent putting into the build. It's always hard to watch that kind of thing go down in flames before you per se, but in front of you per se. But it was definitely a good learning experience, and I don't regret any of it. And yeah, hey, you live and you learn. That's the name of the game. Anyway, thanks for watching. As soon as the Evo is back here, I'll give you guys an update on that too. Thanks for watching.